Have you ever felt the electric pull of a stranger's gaze, as if the world around you dissolved into a single, unbreakable thread of attention? That moment, when the air thickens with an invisible force, when your heart skips in a pattern that feels both alien and familiar. Have you ever wondered why that sensation lingers long after the person has vanished? In the hush of the night, beneath the flicker of street lamps, the most intoxicating of all lies is often dressed in charisma, cloaked in charm, and whispered with a voice that seems to echo the deepest desires you never dared to admit. Picture yourself standing on the edge of a precipice, the ground below a swirling vortex of doubts and long-held fears. The figure steps closer, offering a hand that promises safety, a smile that feels like a secret shared between two conspirators. You feel the weight of the world lighten, as if a hidden door has opened, revealing a sanctuary where you can breathe, where your own shadows retreat into the darkness. Yet, beneath the surface, a storm brews, a subtle, insidious current that will eventually pull you into its depths. How many of us have been swept away by such currents, only to find that the sanctuary was a mirage, the promise a trap? The question is not whether we have fallen, but why we keep falling, and how the invisible hand of destiny and the unseen currents of the unconscious guide us to these encounters. The night is a canvas for the unknown, and the mind is a mirror that reflects our deepest archetypal images. Have you ever felt a sudden, inexplicable urge to follow someone whose very presence seems to rewrite the rules of your reality? The pull is not random. It is the language of the soul, written in symbols that our conscious mind cannot fully decipher. In the quiet moments between heartbeats, the unconscious mind whispers in riddles, nudging us toward the very people who will challenge the edges of our self-image. Are we simply following a pattern, or are we being drawn by something more profound, something that threads through the very fabric of our existence? Imagine the world as a vast, interwoven tapestry, where threads of destiny, synchronicity, and the hidden energies of the cosmos intertwine. When a charismatic manipulator enters our lives, it feels as if the tapestry is tugging at a hidden seam, inviting us to unravel it. We are compelled to look, to listen, to feel. Yet, the same seam that draws us and also threatens to unravel the very structure that keeps us grounded. How do we know when a thread is a path to growth and when it is a snare waiting to be sprung? In the dim glow of our own inner light, we can hear whispers of a deeper truth, that the most powerful forces are not always visible, and the most dangerous are often the ones that feel like home. The journey we are about to embark upon is not a simple tale of warning. It is an exploration into the shadows that dance beside our hearts, the unseen forces that guide our choices, and the paradox of longing for a connection that ultimately seeks to control. As we walk this path, we will peel back layers of perception, uncovering the hidden motives that lie beneath the surface of every charismatic encounter. We will ask ourselves, in the quiet moments of reflection, what it truly means to be drawn into the orbit of a manipulator, and how we can discern the line between genuine attraction and manipulation. So, are you ready to step into the shadows, to peer into the abyss that beckons with promises of belonging, and to discover whether the pull you feel is a siren song or a key to your own liberation? Let us begin this journey, where the line between fascination and danger blurs, and the secrets of the unconscious await our exploration. The night is dark, the mystery deep, and the truth, if we dare to seek it, lies just beyond the veil. When the spell of charisma settles into the rhythm of a new partnership, it feels as though a secret key has unlocked a door you never knew existed. You find yourself stepping into a space that glows with possibility, yet behind that glow lies a labyrinth of hidden corridors. How can you navigate those corridors without becoming lost in the maze of desire? Imagine the relationship as a garden tended by two gardeners. One brings light and water, while the other, unseen, pulls at the roots, tugging them toward a different soil. The charismatic figure often presents themselves as the sun, warm, illuminating, and indispensable. Yet, beneath that sun, a shadowy wind circulates, bending the plants toward a direction that may not serve the garden's true purpose. Recognizing this wind is the first act of stewardship. You must learn to feel the breeze without surrendering to its direction. Now consider how archetypal forces shape this garden. The charismatic manipulator frequently embodies the ruler archetype, claiming mastery over the landscape. Their authority feels reassuring, but also imposes boundaries that are not yours to define. The seeker within you, on the other hand, craves adventure and validation. When these two archetypes clash, the garden becomes a battleground of wills. By identifying which archetype is at play, you can pause before you plant new seeds and ask, whose vision will guide this plot? This self-questioning is a mirror that reflects your own shadow, revealing the parts of yourself that crave control or fear abandonment. Furthermore, the unconscious mind operates like a hidden river beneath the garden surface. It carries currents that influence the flow of water, the distribution of nutrients, and the growth of vines. When a charismatic partner enters, they often bring a surge of synchronicity, coincidental events that feel like divine messages. These moments can be intoxicating, yet they also serve as a veil, masking the river's true direction. To see through the veil, practice grounding rituals. Breathe in the scent of earth, trace the path of a leaf, and notice the subtle shifts in your own heart. By anchoring yourself, you can discern whether the river is steering you toward nourishment or toward erosion. Conversely, the manipulator may use emotional triggers as tools, small acts that ignite large fires. Picture a match struck against a dry log. A single spark can ignite a blaze. When they say, "You're not the only one who feels this way," they plant a seed of doubt that can grow into an inseparable bond. To counter this, cultivate an internal fire of self-belief. Remind yourself of past victories, of moments when you stood firm against external pressure. Let that fire illuminate the path ahead, preventing the match from catching on the wrong kind of wood. Another crucial layer is the practice of setting boundaries as a ritual. Think of boundaries as a protective circle drawn in salt around a sacred space. When the charismatic figure steps within, you can feel their presence without allowing them to cross the threshold of your autonomy. Each time you honor this circle, you reinforce the integrity of your inner sanctum. Over time, this practice transforms your relationship from a one-sided dance to a duet where both partners respect the rhythm of the other's step. Now, consider how this applies when you face a partner who constantly shifts their narrative. They may weave stories that align with your desires, only to twist them later. Use the lens of narrative therapy. Ask yourself, what story am I telling myself? And who is the author? When the answer reveals that the author is not you, the narrative loses its power. Reclaim the story by writing your own chapter, one that acknowledges the manipulator's influence but does not let it dictate the plot. In the end, the Garden of Love is not a passive landscape, but a dynamic ecosystem. The charismatic manipulator may be a gardener who promises a bountiful harvest, yet their methods may drain the soil. By recognizing archetypes, honoring your shadow, and setting clear boundaries, you become the steward who decides which plants flourish and which wilt. This stewardship is not an act of resistance, but an act of reverence, respect for the delicate balance that sustains both your soul and the partnership you choose to nurture. As the night deepens, the shadows that have long danced along the edges of your awareness begin to coalesce, forming a subtle yet unmistakable tapestry that hints at a hidden architecture beneath the surface. You might notice how each thread, once loose and individual, now seems to whisper to the others, creating a resonance that is both familiar and foreign. This resonance is not a simple echo of past moments. It is the subtle harmonization of forces that have been quietly shaping your path, weaving a narrative that is richer and more complex than any single memory could reveal. Consider the way the moonlight has been filtering through the branches, casting a pattern of light and shade that shifts with every breath you take. In that shifting pattern, there's a rhythm, a pulse that syncs with your heartbeat, a pulse that has been guided by the unseen currents of your inner landscape. The moon, a silent witness to your journey, has become an ally, reminding you that even in darkness, there is a source of illumination that can guide your steps forward. You may also feel, at this juncture, a growing awareness of how the energy of the world around you has been subtly attuned to your own inner vibrations. The air seems to hum with a frequency that resonates with your deepest longings, and the world feels like a vast, responsive organism that has been listening, waiting, and now, ready to reveal its next secret. This is not a mere coincidence. It is the culmination of the hidden dialogues that have been unfolding in the spaces between your thoughts, in the quiet moments when you let go of the need to control everything. The journey has taken you through valleys of doubt, over peaks of insight, and into the very heart of the paradox that defines the human experience, the simultaneous craving for connection and the fear of losing oneself. You have walked alongside archetypes that have guided your actions, and you have encountered the shadows that have attempted to pull you into a path that is not your own. Yet, as you stand at this threshold, you can sense that the path ahead is no longer a straight line but a dance, a choreography where each step is both a response and a declaration of intent. In this moment, the world feels like an open book whose pages are waiting to be turned. The ink, though invisible, is there etched by the experiences that have shaped you, the choices that have defined you, and the silent promises that have been made to yourself. The narrative that unfolds is not one of finality, but of evolution, a continuous thread that will weave through the days yet to come. It is a reminder that the story you are living is not a closed chapter, but an ongoing manuscript, where each new sentence adds depth, nuance, and meaning. You may find that the sense of anticipation grows, a gentle pressure that nudges you toward the next revelation. It is as though the universe has been holding its breath, waiting for the moment when you're ready to step into the next act of your story. The anticipation is not a call to action in the conventional sense. Rather, it is an invitation to trust the process, to let the unfolding narrative guide you toward a place where clarity and purpose meet in a single, harmonious breath. Reflecting on this journey so far, you recognize that the path you have traversed has been as much about learning to listen as it has been about speaking. The lessons have been embedded in the spaces between your thoughts, in the pauses that have allowed you to hear the subtle music of your own soul. It is here, in these quiet moments, that the true power of your story resides, waiting to be discovered, understood, and integrated into the tapestry of your life. As you continue to walk this path, remember that every step you take is a testament to your resilience, your curiosity, and your capacity to transform the unseen into something visible. The journey ahead is a promise, an invitation to continue exploring the mysteries that lie within and around you, and to embrace the unfolding narrative with an open heart and a steady mind. In the quiet aftermath of every encounter, the echoes of our choices linger like a lingering scent, soft, persistent, and unmistakably ours. We have traced the invisible threads that bind us to those who glitter with charisma, and we have seen how the same allure that can lift us also has the potential to bind us in ways that feel both inevitable and unjust. The path we walk is not a straight line, but a winding river, fed by currents of archetype and shadow, of destiny and free will. Yet, within this complexity lies a simple truth. The power to choose our direction rests not in the hands of the charismatic figure, but in the quiet, deliberate acts of self-reflection and boundary setting that we practice each day. Imagine the heart as a compass, its needle drawn toward the magnetic pull of those who promise us a world of ease and belonging. When we allow that pull to override our own compass, we risk becoming wanderers lost in a landscape that feels familiar, but is in truth a maze designed to keep us from seeing our own way out. The insight we gain from the hidden dance of charisma and manipulation is that every moment of surrender is an invitation to pause, to listen to the deeper voice that whispers, "You are enough. You are enough to walk your own path." It is in that pause that the veil lifts, revealing the quiet strength that has been dormant beneath layers of desire and fear. The deeper we delve into the interplay of the unconscious, the more we recognize that the patterns we encounter are not merely external forces, but reflections of our own inner landscapes. The charismatic figure is a mirror, reflecting back aspects of ourselves that we either crave or fear. When we learn to recognize these reflections, we can choose to step forward with clarity rather than being pulled into a spiral of dependency. This recognition is not a momentary epiphany. It is a practice, a daily commitment to observe the subtle currents that shape our interactions and to honor the space where our true self can breathe. And so, the lesson extends beyond the realm of relationships into the broader canvas of our lives. Every decision, every interaction is an opportunity to align with the authentic rhythm of our being. We can transform the hidden currents that once seemed to dictate our course into intentional pathways that lead us toward growth, freedom, and mutual respect. The true practice begins now, in the space between breath and thought, where we can choose to honor our own narrative rather than let it be overwritten by the charisma of another. Let this be the gentle reminder that the most powerful relationships we ever forge are those that honor both the light and the shadow within us. When we embrace this duality, we become architects of our own destiny, weaving a tapestry that is both resilient and radiant. The journey may be long, the path may twist, but the destination is clear. A life lived in alignment with our deepest truth, a heart that knows its worth, and a spirit that is unshackled by the allure of those who would lead us astray. So, as you step forward, carry with you the quiet certainty that you are the master of your own story. Let the whispers of the unseen guide you, but never let them dictate the next chapter. The world is vast, the possibilities endless, and the power to shape your narrative is within your grasp. In this shared understanding, we find not only the courage to confront the charismatic manipulators in our lives, but also the wisdom to nurture the relationships that truly reflect our highest selves.